Create Art Podcast. Project National Poetry Writing Month 2022. Hello friends, this is Timothy Chemo Bryan, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I use my 20 plus years of experience in the arts and education to help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. This month is National Poetry Writing Month, and this is the third year in a row that I am going to be doing NaPoWriMo, as it's known. Now, what's this all about? Well, it's actually something that started up a long time ago, about 2003. And it was done by Maureen Thorson. She's a poet that was living in Washington, D.C., and it was inspired by National Novel Writing Month. And what she did is she posted her poems on her blog, and other people started, writing poems in April and hosting them on their own blog. Now, Maureen linked to them, and after a few years, there's so many people doing NaPoWriMo that Maureen decided to launch an independent website for the project. Now, as far as me, I've started writing poetry back in 1988 when I was exposed to T.S. Eliot in my honors English class in high school. Started reading poetry to the public in 1992 while I was in Abilene, Texas at Espresso Europa coffee shop. I put out my own books of poetry, starting way back in 2007 with Throwing Myself at the Ground and Missing. And then 2008, Postcards from Somebody You Don't Know. And then 2010, Wisdom from the Sack, where I did the National Poetry Writing Month. I did 60 poems in 30 days and put out a book for that. And then the latest one, 2017, Shaving Crop Circles in My Chest Hair. Again, that was a response to doing a Word of the Day challenge. Now, like I said, in 2009, I started participating in it, and I've been a huge proponent for it. This is my third year doing it on the show, so I hope you enjoy. All right, we are on the 21st. We've made it through 420. We're in the final stretch of this month's poetry. So today's prompt asks you to write a poem in which you first recall someone you used to know closely but are no longer in touch with. Then a job you used to have but no longer do. And then a piece of art that you saw once that has stuck with you over time. Finally, you need to close the poem with an unanswerable question. So mine is called Discarded Items. You were just a year older than I when we first met, and yet you seem to have lived so much more. We joined the military during the times of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and when you left for boot camp, your girlfriend became mine. You were drummed out of the Navy for showing your love for another man. Initially, I felt betrayed that you never told me. I thought we were thick as thieves. And then I met a man in uniform. That poor girl didn't have gay or bidar. When I left the military, we still kept in touch. Me working third shift at Kinko's, and you bouncing around California. I was working on my degree and myself, and you were working on your next conquest. And after a few moves and some barnacle cleaning, I lost touch with you. One day I was walking through the Louvre, not knowing what I really wanted to see. And at the top of a staircase was Winged Victory, armless, headless, calming the sea. I thought of you, my friend from long ago, and wishing that you could have been with me, just like you were with me during our first show, flying in scenery for Guys and Dolls. One of the only musicals that I can tolerate, one of the many musicals you admire and know by heart. I've tried to look you up with all the technology at our fingertips, but to no avail, wondering if the algorithm has something against us. I want to thank you for tuning into this special episode of Create Art Podcast, National Poetry Writing Month for 2022. I look forward to seeing the comments that you can put on the website and let me know what you think of the poetry. And I want to know if you're writing poetry. Drop me a few lines. Let me take a look at it. I'd be happy to help you self-publish your book or give you advice or good context that I personally have to get your poetry out there. Reach out to me, Timothy, at createartpodcast.com, and let me help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. Let me know if you'd like to be on the show or talk about any of the topics that we do present for you here. Until next time, go out there and create art for somebody you love, yourself.